Welcome back to Moose on the Loose. My name's David. Today I'm going to be showing you guys some tiny houses that have been built for homeless people. This is an initiative that was done here in Port Alberni on Vancouver Island. Now, building these was a bit of a disaster. BC Housing wouldn't allow anyone to live in these houses until there was at least 20 of them because they have an on-site staff that works there. So basically they had someone who built these houses over in Surrey. They contracted a company and then they brought them over, and then they found out there was some sort of permitting issues, and there's also some sizing issues with these things where, they're a little too big, a little too small, so they had to rebuild a bunch of these. It's just typical government bureaucracy. Just like Pierre Poilievre talks about the government bureaucracy, zoning permissions and all this kind of stuff. This is for people essentially living in a shed, yet there's still bureaucracy. So I'm gonna have to be pretty covert and discreet. This is a very rough neighborhood. There's a lot of rough characters here. There's a lot of basically any of the homeless people that are addicted to substances live in this area. There's actually one long building just over to my left there that is blurred out on Google Maps. I'm pretty sure it's some sort of, the four-letter word starts with a D that I'm not going to say. There's also a bottle depot that's just behind me, and if you go in there to put in some bottles, you'll get swarmed by people trying to take your bottles from you. It's not a great part of town, but I guess they built this here because the government owned the land here. It's also a part of this area, and people are probably making money off of putting bottles there. So, okay, let's go take a look at this. I'm gonna walk by discreetly and try to get you guys the best shots as possible. So right off the bat, you can see them there. And I think they're all done now. They should have been completed last year. So it is almost like a gated community, and there's security at the front. Seven, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12.
Don't step on anything, okay?
Hey, Papa.
So I just went in the office there and I talked with the manager guy there, and he told me quite a bit about it. First off, I can't go in there and film, which is fair enough, but he basically told me that, the food gets provided there. There was some food that was just dropped off when I was there. There's like a wait list for people who kind of, need it most. There's 20 units there right now, and there's going to be 30 total. There's multiple bathrooms in the back there, and shower facilities, and a place to lock up their bikes. And so it's a pretty good system they have set up there. Initially when I went there, the guy wasn't too happy to see me. He was a little kind of defensive, but then he kind of warmed up once he realized I'm just trying to bring some awareness to what government should be either providing for homelessness, or if they're doing the UBI or whatever it's going to be. Like, they need something to solve these problems we're having in Canada now, where people can't be sleeping out in the streets when it's freezing cold outside. So this place was set up for a cost of $765,000, and I think it says $850,000 annual operating cost, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me why it would cost more to build it than annually operate it. But that guy sitting there did have a crazy amount of cameras in there, like every single corner of that lot. There must have been 16 cameras for that single, whatever that is, acre of land or whatever that is. So there's quite a bit of surveillance there. Seems there's motion activated lights on every single one of those units out there too. Well, I think it's good that they will eventually have 30 units. They have 20 right now. I don't think that is the solution long term, because if the government is doing a lot of things that are essentially causing homelessness, whether it's that bringing in so many immigrants, so many foreign workers, foreign students, all that kind of stuff, it's just got to be a policy change that the Trudeau Liberal government has to change, or more likely, let's be real, it'll be the Poilievre government that fixes these problems. But it's up to the Canadian government to do a wider spread fix so everyone can take care of themselves. Because when it comes down to it, you can't just be building a zillion tiny shed houses. It's just, because that's like 30 people. 30, I mean, this town's probably got 100 or 2 or whatever. If you go into a big city like Vancouver, there's thousands. I used to live down there, Main and Hastings. I lived actually in 2 places near Main and Hastings. If you ever lived, or if you've ever been to Vancouver, that used to be, or probably still is, the most dangerous street in Canada. That's not a Canadian affordability problem. That's a serious problem with substances. But that aside, Canadians sleeping in vans and all this kind of stuff, like, we can't just have sheds everywhere. It's got to be policy change that fixes this. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.